Leigh Douglas, hello.
Fiona Kingwell, hi.
How are we this fine day?
Dear listener, we've been on a journey since we recorded the last episode.
Honestly.
I just quick housekeeping, life admin for Leigh. I've been through a breakup since we were last here. The gorgeous Discord patrons are already aware and have been very cute. But I also was very lucky in that the day my ex moved out, I took myself to a spa for the day. And guess who was at my house by the time I got home from the spa?
This gal right here.
Yeah. It's not just for the podcast, folks.
It's for life. Leigh and I just jumped on this call and had, I would say, 8 to 12 minutes of some of the most intense conversation where I was like, and at the end of the day, Leigh, the way that we've emotionally grown, yada, 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 yada. And then we were like, okay, and record.
Yes. Yes.
Leigh also has an incredibly heavy cold. I have been what I can only describe as pummeled within an inch of my life by my osteopath today. So we're in an interesting place to come to episode 8 of season 4 of The West Wing.
Dear listener, it feels very fitting that today we're watching an episode called Process Stories. That is season 4, episode 8 of The West Wing, because both me and Fi are doing quite a lot of emotional processing ourselves.
Truly. Welcome back to Queer Gals Watch The West Wing. We are just going to dive straight into this episode because I loved this.
This is one of my favorite episodes of the season thus far.
And I'm going to try and be succinct, Leigh, because there's lots of discussion points in today's episode for me.
There's so much to get into.
So the previously on is kind of taking us right back into the final moments of last week's episode. Jed's won, but we're still waiting to see if Horton Wilde has won in OC and if Sam is going to tell anyone what he's promised anyone.
We are in real time. It is 12:15 a.m.
We're smoking. We're partying.
I don't smoke, but I imagine that the post-election win cigarette would be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, there's times when... as we've seen Jed previously, where you're like, he's just ripping on that cig in a way that it's doing something, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, also, what a world that at 15 minutes past midnight, like an election is called, right?
To have a Democratic victory at 12:15 a.m. on election night, simpler times. Such simple times.
We're in the West Wing, everyone's kind of having a drink and partying, but all the TVs are still on and we're kind of overhearing just some punditry, some light punditry.
Yes.
And would you like to read aloud this quote, Leigh?
They're both pretty strange, Julie, but for a Democrat to win in the 47th, he was going to have something going for him, and this was it.
And the thing that was going for him was he was dead.
He was dead. That was his USP.
I laughed out loud for so long after that.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a point where I was like, I'm hooked.
And I'm in.
But the pundits also discuss how essentially post-debate
is where it all turned around for Jed.
Yeah, which also a simpler time a gal can dream.
He was a wordsmith. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the election night pundits. Love them. They gave it their all for a day rate.
Time. And you know what? It's gorgeous to just see people not physically in fear on an election night, you know?
To have an election night where the phrase threat to democracy is not being used.
It's bandied around
It's
the room.
very nostalgic.
Why does it feel so out of reach? We're going to go to Sam being Sam. And Donna just being a good friend. We're in Sam's office. We're like mid-conversation. Sam, I'm going to say, is spiraling. There's some head in hands moments. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to ask you, Leigh, how long do you think they've been in this room?
I'm going to say they've been in this room for 75 minutes.
Yeah, we're above an hour.
Yeah.
But I'm really thrilled because Donna is a gal pal because she knows a secret and she's not told anyone, and she's just like, in your own time, Sam.
Icon status, honestly. Mm-hmm. I have loved watching the friendship between Sam and Donna blossom over time. It's one of my favorite relationships.
So Sam's being a little bit cranky And Donna's like, you want some cake? Cue a classic Sam Seabornism. And again, some wonderful neurodivergence because he's like, but what cake? And she said, well, obviously just the cake that's out there. And he's like, no, I would need to know what cake is being offered to understand whether or not I want the cake.
And I understand that completely. If I'm going to have a treat, it has to be exactly what I want it to be.
Yeah. I think people are like that though. So I'm with you, which is if I'm going to have a treat, be it savory or sweet, I have a very specific idea in my head of what I like and what I want. And if I can't have that, then I just simply won't have the treat.
Yeah.
Whereas my partner would just like, if he opened a biscuit tin and the biscuit that he didn't want was in there, he'd just have a biscuit that he actively didn't like just to have a biscuit.
No.
Correct.
No.
The trials of modern relationships. Now, we sort of leave Sam's office on the search for cake, and on the telly, we meet Hooley.
We meet Gail McKee.
Wow, Gail. Just giving it absolute socks on whatever day she came in to do some filming for the West Wing. She's like their journalist in the field, Gail McKee. And Horton Wilde has won in Orange County in the 47th because the person who was running against has conceded.
Yes.
And then Gail's like, but the news on the street is it's gonna be Sam Seaborn.
And this is awkward because Sam is outed whilst amidst a crowd of people in the bullpen.
Yeah. And it's crazy because everyone's like been chatting amongst themselves. And then the room goes silent and still at the same time.
I was dying.
And then he just sort of walks away from that room and through the halls, and he's just walking past other rooms where people are still and silent watching the same news. And then he enters the craziest room I've ever seen.
Yeah, I need to understand why CJ's office looks like this. Are we having a seance? I need to understand why it's so pink. Why is the lighting pink?
So in order to sort of celebrate the success of the election, someone, be it CJ or one of her staffers, is like put Christmas lights, like coloured fairy lights around the room, covered every single lamp with like a piece of pink chiffon, and placed several lava lamps around.
I missed the lava lamps.
The
that
lava
feels like
lamps
a crucial
really
detail.
Tipped me over the edge. I was like, what the fuck is happening? In my head, it's like she, Josh, and Toby have been in there and she's just been doing the jackal for them for like the last 2 hours, just over and over again.
I think so. Or there's been a kind of like Kate Bush style performance.
It's really weird because like it's not that her office needs more elaborate lighting than it does. She's got a lot of nice lamps.
And I ask you, Fiona, where are the lava lamps in 2026?
My brother had a lava lamp, which I coveted. Maybe I also had a lava. My sister had a glitter lava lamp that was amazing.
Whoa.
Yeah. One of those things, you know, when you're like, you have a big sister and she has the bigger room and the glitter lava lamp and, you know, the subscription to like Miss Magazine. Incredible.
The height of glamour.
Honestly, the most glamorous woman that's ever lived. So with the core team, Sam kind of comes stumbling in and they're like, oh, I guess you're running for office. And that's the point at which I was like, maybe this is like a big Sam episode. And this is because Rob Lowe's exiting the show and we're like giving him a couple of big storylines before he like leaves mid-season. No, I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to be true.
I just feel like we're being led down a slight garden path and there's going to be like a...
but it didn't work out and he's still going to stay.
Or like he's still going to be in the show because he's going to be in Congress and he's just going to be like...
My God, I didn't think about that.
Our man in Congress.
Oh my God, I would love that. If I can't have him full time, give me joint custody, you know?
Exactly.
I'll have him on weekends and holidays, I promise. Sam is unspooling.
Yes.
That much is clear. There's a whole kind of through joke in this episode with Aristotle.
I am confused. Clearly, Aristotle has become Sam's Roman Empire.
It means something to Aaron Sorkin and Aaron Sorkin only, I fear.
You know, unlike our good friend William Shakespeare, Aaron Sorkin is not playing to the common man.
No.
Sometimes he is playing to an audience of one.
Himself. But you logged it in the shared doc.
A definite Toby Ziegler smile, like a most definitive Toby Ziegler smile that we've ever seen. I love that because I wasn't sure how Toby was going to react. I didn't know if he would be kind of a wounded puppy about potentially losing Sam, but he just wants the best for him in his career.
I know. There's a lot of friendship in this episode, and I do find it all very moving. But what follows that scene is perhaps one of my favourite moments of television of all time.
We return to the Bartlet sex games.
The famous Bartlet sex games. We are in the residence. Jed Bartlet has made a pitcher of martini.
And you know what? He just got elected president of the United States, so I think
and
that's
now he's
fair.
gonna fuck his wife. That's honestly, I would be so intrigued to know if like a president has done this. Has been like, me and my wife will be upstairs. Do not disturb us.
There's so much to come. I can't with Jed. There's like soft jazz. He's in a silk robe.
I don't mean to intimidate you, but it turns out I'm the first Democrat in 20 years to make a clean sweep of the Plain States, and I'm not just talking about Iowa and Nebraska.
Are you trying to turn me on now?
Yeah.
All right.
I won the Dakotas, the Badlands, the Black Hills, but let's go down, way down to the deep south and the humid bayou of the Louisiana and its 9 electoral votes. What manner of man it must take to win the state, which, by the way, is the only one operating under the Napoleonic Code of France. And I still don't know what that's all about, but back to me.
Hun, this is like nerd hot talk.
Who's your commander-in-chief?
You are.
Who's your commander-in-chief is fucked up.
I love that as a future roleplay option. I love it.
Yeah. I think that Martin Sheen and Stockard Channing were having a lovely time.
They were having the time of their lives.
And they were like, should we just sort of be really playful with it? Let's just be really loose and playful. Like being real thesps about it, you know?
I just love that. I love that Abby doesn't give him an inch until who's your commander-in-chief?
You are. Outrageous. The breathiness on her voice is unbelievable.
But they're interrupted, Fiona.
Poor Charlie. I thought we had an understanding with regard to tonight interruptions, Charlie. I thought we were men.
Oh, one of my favorite lines.
I thought we were men. Cue Sam Seaborn
yes.
in crisis
yes.
at the door of the Bartlets. He's floundering, frankly, which causes Jed to say one of the most simple and effective lines in this show. Man, is everything all right?
Yes, I just love that implied in the word man in both I thought we were men and man is everything all right. When the word man comes out of Jed Bartlet's mouth, what he means is friend, gentleman, scholar.
Yeah, truly.
You know, it's so much. He just loves men.
But before Sam can really describe how he's feeling, he's interrupted.
Hello, Mr. President. By Stockard Channing using a baby voice.
In a tiny, little, silky, like, short dressing gown that's in, like, a kind of, like, presidential blue.
I can't.
Her hair is massive, and she's, like, it's very, like, this is a deep cut. It's very, like, when Britney in Crossroads comes out in the pink underwear with the
Say no
jacket
more.
over. It's giving that. And the Hello, Mr. President
killed me.
Yeah.
Killed
Greatest
me.
moment of this show
It
so
was
far.
so Liza Minnelli. I was
it really was. Like she's going to do a tap number.
Cabaret.
Come on down, boys. Let's dance.
There is something about these two that's very vaudevillian.
It is. It's all very show business. I present to you a play.
It's very Noel Coward.
Yes. Obviously, Sam is agog.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Wow, really pulled that out of the annals from somewhere. Cueing eyes front, mister, from Jed Bartlett.
We were in La La Land for this whole scene. I couldn't.
Yeah.
It just kept. It was the scene that kept on giving.
I was on a higher plane by this point. But back to the party, and it's buzzing. We're with the kind of Maryland crew, off to go and see Congresswoman Dwyer. Wyatt. Andy Dwyer is a character from Parks and Rec. So Congresswoman Wyatt has been re-elected.
With like 85% of the vote, they say.
Something crazy. She like calls Toby over to her, and then she says this. My man got the president re-elected tonight.
Kiss.
Cue Toby going, that was very pleasant.
Yeah, there's been a shift in energy. There's been a shift in Andy's energy.
I'd like to hear more about this, Leigh.
We've always gotten the sense that Toby is very emotionally open to Andy, but that Andy kind of is always looking at him with kind of a slight wry smile that you might give an ex who you have a lot of love for, but it's kind of firmly in the past for you.
She seemed a very boundaried woman.
Exactly.
And like very much like, Toby, let's not be like this because that's too familiar.
My man?
Kiss in front of a room full of my colleagues? Okay.
What I will say is this whole scene definitely made Toby Ziegler even sexier to me than he's been before. There's just something about him and his energy. I know that she is literally having his twins, but there's something about Toby's energy with Andy through this whole scene that is just so daddy, and I can't. It's just so hot.
It's because he's like, you need to listen, we need to do this work. And she's just like kind of nodding and half listening and eating a spring roll. He's like, we've got to put this statement out because the last thing you want is for like people to be coming after you for election fraud.
Yeah.
Because you didn't disclose you were pregnant before you ran. And she's just like, yeah, whatever. Biting into her spring roll and then walking away. But more on that later, because we simply must discuss that Leah McGarry is sort of outside on a veranda slow dancing.
Yeah, dear God, everyone is romancing tonight.
It's unbelievable. Just like he's just in full hold with Jordan. She's also BTW wearing another hideous, huge necklace. It's another bejeweled padlock, I fear. Like, it's massive. And it just is so odd. She seems like a simple pearl earring kind of woman.
I know. She's very elegant. I don't understand.
She's been done dirty by the stylist department, I think.
But it's so like Leo McGarry romancing is like Frank Sinatra. It's just, I like the whole.
You're so right.
It's too much.
It's honestly like, it's crooner energy.
He's an old alcoholic crooner. Absolutely. Yeah. He does a lean at one point.
Well, they're in like hold, and then she goes, I think she goes, Commander. And Leah's like, what? And then she's like, no, behind you is the commander, which is funny. And then he turns around and it's this dude, and the guy's basically like, oh, by the way, there's loads of trouble going on in Venezuela, and we need you to come to work. And Leo just then goes over and leans towards Jordan, the lean.
And suddenly I'm like, you were a player in high school.
Honestly.
And I know that from that one lean.
Put him in a Letterman jacket. The women went weak at the knees.
When you're a jet.
Can you hang around a minute? There's about to be a coup in Venezuela. Like, how did he say that sentence and make it sexy? And she's like, sure. Should we go to CJ's office?
Yes, because I'm obsessed because there's just a random man claiming credit for the campaign.
Yes. I think Chris Whittaker has a role to play in this episode. I kind of love Chris Whittaker being like, I was asked to do a bit of work for the campaign, and now I plan to be the spokesperson for the Bartlett campaign. CJ is outraged because obviously, the acclaim isn't going to the right people, which should be Bruno. Meanwhile, Bruno is, and I say this respectfully, whoring about.
Shameless. It is totally and utterly shameless.
Would you like to read the quote?
Carloads of partygoers from the Women's Leadership Coalition and the Women's Action Network are unloading at the Northwest Executive entrance. It is time for watermelon. What does that even mean?
It's time for watermelon? I think that means it's time for pussy. That the insinuation is that Bruno's eating out.
Hey, eat out to help out. Never forget.
Do you know what I mean? We'll never forget. Us gals did good out of that scheme. I am so fascinated. So Bruno's energy in this scene is very specific, and I'd like to take you on a journey, Leigh. Mm-hmm. So CJ's like, there's this dude called Chris Whittaker. Bruno couldn't give a shit. He's like, look, you can do something about it if you want, but honestly, I worked for the administration. I ran the campaign. I've been paid. I don't care. I want to have some fun tonight. Mm-hmm. I am very obsessed with the concept that Bruno's like, I use my clout to fuck. I don't want to go on TV. I want to bed this woman.
Yeah, it's very Shane from the L Word.
Well, this is what I was saying. I was saying that's lesbian fuckboy energy.
Oh my God, no, it is. Yeah.
And so that's it. That's Bruno locked in now. In my head, just like a carabiner away from his true form.
I don't know what is more lesbian. Bruno whoring about at a party as a fuckboy lesbian, or Toby having twins with his ex.
Yeah, it's both. It's kind of like neck and neck currently at this point. I also love that the women Bruno is romancing are all significantly taller than him, which again, for me, is lesbian fuckboy energy.
Yes.
With the tall femme and the little kind of
tiny, scrappy little foot.
Yeah. And then this is somehow topped.
Oh my God, yes.
This is somehow topped by, once again, Bradley Whitford and physical comedy.
It's the greatest moment of physical comedy.
He committed to that take. I would bet £100 that was a one-take shot.
Did he slip at one point?
He's like scrabbling for footing.
It's not like a sexy run.
It's like he's running after an ice cream truck. It's insane. Donna, you might want to tell Josh that a few carloads of women...
Yeah, he knows.
Cue the smash as Bradley Whitford runs through a double door, essentially, like scrabbles on some like marble flooring, and then is like pelting towards a doorway in order to get to, quote unquote, women.
It's the yin to the yang of Aragorn coming through the double doors.
We did say we want more people coming through double doors. We just didn't ask for this. However, unmatched work from him there.
So funny.
And then to kind of continue some bonkers behavior from Josh, Amy stops him dead.
The power of Amy Gardner to stop this man in his tracks. They're not even together anymore.
With it's just a hi or hello, I think.
Untold power.
And it doesn't stop there. It only gets better.
It's a target-rich environment, and I don't want to cramp your style. I just wanted to stash my coat in your office.
That's such a good Amy impression, by the way.
Thank you. I've been working on it. The peppy yet sad X energy, I unfortunately, for obvious reasons, just can't really
go into,
engage with in any way.
No. There's definitely something interesting for me in that, like, it's such intuitive writing because as soon as she's like, oh, can I stash my coat in your office? They do a walk and talk. And the familiarity of their dialogue with each other is so on point. It just does so much to paint the history of these two characters. It's a masterful writing.
Yeah.
And like, it's a big day for both of them. They've both had a good day at work.
Yeah.
Anyway, Amy is here to tell Josh that Sam should run. She's like, no, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, because essentially Congress is mad that although Jed has won, they've not won back Congress. And Amy's point is the bad vibes around that will get smoothed over if one of Jed's top people kind of puts himself in the firing line in a special election and puts his name on the line as a candidate, which is so smart. But then I immediately got completely distracted because Amy is wearing the hell out of a revenge dress. And you cannot tell me that this is not a revenge dress.
It is.
In the style of Lady Di herself.
It's a spaghetti strap, red, like figure hugging, like there's almost a drape to it, isn't there? We're not bodycon.
No.
But we're also not like shift dress.
No.
Like it's hugging her figure.
Yeah, it looks like it has been poured over her body.
She looks incredible.
She looks sensational.
As she's taking her coat off and handing it to Josh, he's just like looking at her and then he goes, what?
I didn't say anything.
And that's power.
That's
magnetism.
As you wrote in the shared doc, that is magnetism. And the fact that she stopped him in his tracks while she had a full scarf and coat on and waited for the moment they were alone to reveal the gown.
Unbelievable work from her. And you know what? As the ex who, you know, he got you fired.
It's so bad.
You do earn the right to do that, I think.
You do. Of course you do.
We're just going to pop over very briefly to California to just some interesting information, which is Elsie Snuffin of jokes in speech fame is Will Bailey's sister.
Was that real? Or did I misunderstand?
Do you know when someone's like, oh, I love you, you're my brother? Like, is that like kind of more like a, you know, we're besties? Or like, is she actually his sister?
I don't know.
Because if that is true, that was kind of a surprise to me because I kind of always got more of like a cute, flirty vibe.
I feel like we need to watch this space.
This isn't the end of Elsie.
Yeah.
I feel like she's involved now.
Agreed, yeah.
I will, however, agree with you that Will then says something very fun about she's wearing a great dress. She's put on a little outfit. And it is quite a big brotherly kind of thing that he says to her.
Don't be wearing that dress all up in front of... Never mind.
Yeah. I love Will.
Yeah. I love that he went there, but then he reeled himself back.
He was like, I can't get into this now. I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But it's Jack Reesley.
It's Donna's voting friend.
Lieutenant Commander Jack Reese.
Lieutenant Commander Hottie.
This is crazy. So like just bumped into each other in the halls of the West Wing. And he's like, yeah, I've got a job working for Nancy. I'm trying to find my office. He did mention that, didn't he?
Yeah, he mentioned that before, but it's his first day or night.
It's his first shift. And Donna like helps him find his office. And there's a vibe.
There's a real vibe. But Donna kind of has a vibe with everyone.
She's just got great chemistry in general.
She does, yeah.
But I feel like she keeps asking him questions about like where he stands on things. And I feel like she's trying to find out if he's the sort of Republican she can get on with.
Yes.
Or whether she has to go back to the House chair and admit that once again she's got feelings for a Republican.
Oh my God, yes.
And the girls can be like, not again.
Yeah. Did you ask him what he thinks about social policy?
Exactly.
He'd better just be a fiscal conservative, Donna. I'm serious this time.
We can't do this again, not after Cliff. We are going to the sit room, though, because on his first day, Jack has sort of been summoned. Very high stakes because of the kind of coup that is developing in Venezuela.
Correct. And he asks a great first question, which I imagine the temptation on your first shift in the sit room, I presume, would be to go like, of course I know everything. But I think it's very intelligent and it shows emotional intelligence and like a healthy ego from Jack Reese that his first contribution is a question. And I think it's a good first question to ask your first time in the room, which is, does their control extend beyond Caracas?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I feel like he gets an informative response and no one's like, wow, why would you ask that?
Yeah.
Gagged by, how much time do you need?
3 hours.
The whole room laughs. Then Leo leans in and is like, you got 20 minutes, son.
I would love to be called son by Leo.
Me too. Such a twinkle in his eye there where he was like, I was a young buck like you once, son.
He just has a twinkle all episode because he knows that he's getting some with Jordan.
He's a man that's going to fuck tonight. Yeah. Do you know? And I think there are a lot of people who deserve to have a good old ride. And one of those people is Leo McGarry.
Do you think that this is his first frisson post-divorce?
Post-Jenny?
Or do you think there has been another lady in between? I'm tempted to say that he and
Russian spy?
The Russian ambassador, I think, have an understanding.
They provide each other with company when they're in the same city.
I think they are colleagues with benefits.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Leo has a couple of people who, when they're like, I'm going to let Leo know I'm in town. But I think Jordan's perhaps the first woman that he's been like, he's grafted to be like, I'm taking you home tonight.
Yeah. I think this is the first person he's interested in dating.
Yes, correct. Toby and Andy are working on the statement. And this is when we find out something very interesting about Andy. One, we have a continuation of this changing dynamic.
Yes.
And just generally quite a not laissez-faire, that's the wrong terminology, like Andy's very like leant back confidently in her chair. Like she's got a plan and she's not letting us really know what it is.
Which, besides what her plan may or may not be, she came across as drunk in this episode, which we know she's not drinking because she's pregnant, which makes me think she is drunk on pregnancy hormones.
Ah, yes.
And I think our good friend, Congressman Andrea Wyatt, has decided that she maybe needs to get some because of those pregnancy hormones and has decided who better
than the father of her unborn children.
Correct.
There's a lot of, you said it in the shared doc, there's a lot of honeying.
We've not had a honey from Andy before.
And here we are, multiple in one scene. So it seems that Andy is scrapping for a fight. Like she's like, yeah, I think I'm going to get sued. But she's kind of like into it.
Yeah.
Why do we think she wants this to happen? I got confused here. I was like, what's the benefit of her? Because I think she's really standing firm on the fact that she's like, I shouldn't have to tell people that I'm pregnant. I can do my job.
I think that she is trying to make a wider political point about working moms.
Yeah.
Which we will get into in the study sesh.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Say no more. Bruno is still whoring. He's just working the room. He's got another woman now.
Yeah.
CJ is like, look, Bruno, I think I've like found the dude and I'm like, I'm going to make his life a living hell. Like Chris Whittaker's going down. I'm going to do this for you. And I appreciate that CJ is trying to get Bruno his flowers, but he just wants to get laid.
He does. You know, you've got to respect that.
Yeah. He's like, tonight's my night, not to talk, to get laid.
Yeah. And I also wouldn't put it past Bruno to have some kind of strange, like, I can't have any fun while the campaign is happening because I need like the maximum amount of testosterone possible.
I love that as a concept. So in my head, I'm going to ask a follow-up question, which is, so no sex before election night as a standard, but are we thinking that he's also involved masturbation in that?
I think he has, yeah.
So this man is good to go.
Yeah. He's good to go for rounds.
We're so silly.
Oh, I'm delirious, I think.
Yeah, me too. What the hell is going on with Amy?
I don't know, but I like it.
So Josh and Toby and CJ are kind of having a conversation in the hall about Sam and the fact that Sam's going to run in this election. And Amy's kind of like in the background, like chipping in with what I will say just like fucking random stuff. She says something very strange to Josh because he's like, what are you really doing here?
I'm your wing woman. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I don't know, hun.
But there's a fun energy that
she's like grabbing canapes. She's had a few wines, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's election night and the Democrats won, you know.
You know, she's giving drunk.
She is giving drunk.
But like not sloppy.
No.
Just like, you know, just when like she's just feeling a bit like she could do karaoke.
Is she angling for bonus night?
See, I feel like that's what it was. And like why the hanging around him, like she has friends at this party.
Yeah.
Why is she hanging around her ex-boyfriend?
Yeah. I wonder if there's also something about like this breakup will not mean that I lose my proximity to power.
I think that's an incredible take.
You know what I mean?
Like, I'm not going to let this mean that I'm no longer getting FaceTime with CJ Craig or Toby Ziegler.
Yeah.
However, she's kind of like pitching in things and everyone's sort of kind of ignoring her insanity. It's all a bit odd.
Yeah.
Donna is fixing a radiator.
Yes, she is.
I carried a watermelon. There's a very fun scene between her and Jack where she's like, oh, I don't understand like why you like this policy of Richie's. Like, I don't understand why like it's to do with military spending, right?
Yeah.
And then they had this back and forth about an ashtray.
Yes. A $400 ashtray.
In order to kind of like show why it's $400, Jack like breaks a $400 ashtray with a wrench.
Yes.
And then like explains why it breaks a certain way, but then looks down at this broken ashtray. And Donna's like, I can't believe you broke a $400 ashtray.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't done that. It's because you're blonde. Oh my God.
Which makes me feel like I love Jack.
I love Jack.
Because he's like, I don't know why I did that. It's probably because you're pretty.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where this may go.
Agreed.
Meanwhile, in bed with the Bartlets, back to the sex games.
We're not discussing enough the fact that Jed and Abby are on election night staying up past 2:00 in the morning to eat caviar and drink vodka.
I think that's so fucking chic. I love them. Like, honestly, a member of staff is wheeling in a little trolley. And the little trolley has just got like vodka and caviar on it. And Jed's like, ooh, this vodka. Ooh, tell me about the caviar. And she's like, I love caviar. And he's like, I know you do. What the fuck is happening? This moment of insanity of Jed monologuing about the provenance of the particular caviar he's about to feed to Abby is crashed into by a very stressed and harassed Toby Ziegler arriving to tell them that his ex-wife is pregnant by him. So Charlie has to once again interrupt.
Oh, God.
And be like, Toby's here to speak to you. Toby comes in and Abby is just like on the sofa in this tiny little silky like wrap. And Toby goes, oh, good evening, Mrs. Bartlett. That's a lovely house coat you're wearing.
I stopped by because I told you Andy's pregnant. It's twins. And of course, I'm the father.
And then Jed's like, well, that's nice. Okay, see you. Bye. And Abby has to like get up and reopen the door and like bring him in, and she like kisses him, and she's like, it's so nice because it's the like, of course the Bartlets would have been across the fact that like they were doing IVF and everything, and she asked lots of questions, and he shows her like a picture of the sonogram.
No.
And Jed just goes, you should marry that girl, Toby.
I'm doing my best, sir.
And Jed's like, why did it take you so long to tell us, like, if she's due in May?
I was intimidated by her Catholicism. Just Toby is on fire.
Absolutely, like, knocking every single punchline out of the park.
I genuinely, 3 of my all-time favorite Tobyisms in one scene.
Good evening, Mrs. Bartlett. That's a lovely housecoat you're wearing is one of the best lines in this show.
Agreed.
When like the first lady is like literally like spooning caviar into her mouth, about to like do some sort of foreplay with her husband.
The president, the newly elected
president of the United States.
States.
We have a very small scene between CJ and Chris Whitaker where she very skillfully finds him in the party and just tells him off and is like, don't do that. And it's perfect.
It's incredible.
Like with I'd say 3 to 4 sentences, she just reminds that man the power that she has.
Of who the fuck she is.
Yes. And I just think that's only to be commended. But we close out this episode with a little scene with the core gang, with Toby, Sam, Josh, and CJ discussing why, and I think Amy's there as well, why they think Sam should go for it.
Yeah.
Sam's like, what do you think, to Toby, which I think is very sweet because he cares so much about his opinion.
And he didn't respect him for so long.
Yeah.
And now he finally does.
I got really like tearful watching that scene.
Oh yeah, I was crying.
Okay. And then Sam's like, well, I guess I need to go and tell the president. And all of them just say, well, we'll go with you.
Yeah.
Which is so nice. We close with just an
Yet more sex games. In this show about politics.
Leo and Jordan, like Jordan's like led on the couch in Leo's office under like a presidential seal branded blanket. Which incidentally I need to get one of.
Yeah.
Leo's kind of like, I'm back, honey. And he says 2 insane things in this scene. The first one is he stands by a window and like leans against the side of the window and says this.
I'm begging the sun for one more moment of moonlight.
My God.
These are moves from another time. These are moves that have not seen the light of day since 1962.
Honestly, this should be taught. If someone said that to me, like after we'd stayed up all night, like talking, like, and the spell of this night was about to be broken, and they said, I'm begging the sun for one more moment of moonlight.
I think I'm too Irish for this. It's too much.
It's crooner.
It's full crooner, yeah.
And then he's like, will you dance with me? He like puts the radio on and like again like sweeps her up into his arms. And they like dance in the dying moments of the night as dawn comes.
It's crazy.
You need to say what you wrote in the doc.
I've never danced with anyone the way Leo was dancing with Jordan.
No one's ever held me like he's holding that woman. The way that their bodies are moving together to the music. My God. And like, how old do we think John Spencer is here? Obviously, age is but a number. But like, the game on this man. The game on it.
Okay, so he's born in 1946.
Oh my God, he was a little child actor. And just at a lower octave for the room.
I've just seen a photo of him as a little baby child actor in black and white, and it's undone me.
Oh. So he would have been in season 4, sort of like 55, 56. I feel bad because I feel like I've been aging him as older than that.
Yeah.
Well, I do feel bad about that now.
You know, the wonders of retinol in the modern era.
And SPF, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we have to close out this episode with just John Spencer, king of my heart. And I just want to dance with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick fires.
Best fashion.
I have to agree with you on best fashion.
Amy's revenge dress. It's incredible.
Yeah, I didn't have anything for jail this week. I didn't like CJ's baby pink top and cardi.
Surely it's for jail. It's got to be Jordan's necklace again.
Oh, there's never any doubt. Any chunky necklace will be going to jail.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to just a nod to the silk numbers we see both the Bartlets in. I think is an honourable mention.
Honourable mensch.
What could a British or Irish politician never get away with?
Having senior advisors come in and out of their bedroom while in the midst of a caviar-based sex game.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
I think also I'd like to add to this, casually putting on jazz music in order to bed a colleague.
Correct, yeah. I don't know that a British or Irish politician could get away with any of the lines that came out of Leo McGarry's mouth.
No. Sometimes, especially when it's quite kind of like croony energy, like begging the sun for one more moment of moonlight, you kind of have to have an American accent to pull that off.
Agreed, yeah.
What was your queerest moment that never meant to be queer?
Abby and Jed's silk pajamas.
Yes. I think Bruno's whoring is deeply queer.
Yeah.
Bruno's just a lesbian. He's just a powerful lesbian.
It's giving two brewers somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah. Just working the room. What was the best writerly moment?
I was intimidated by your Catholicism.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pitch for, I thought we had an understanding with regard to tonight and interruptions, Charlie. I thought we were men.
Yes, an absolute classic. That was definitely a candidate for Man I Feel Like a Man for me.
Yes. What were your other Man I Feel Like a Man moments?
Yeah, I wish I hadn't done that. It's because you're blonde.
Yeah.
And then obviously Bruno's line, carloads of partygoers from the Women's Leadership Coalition and the Women's Action Network are unloading in the Northwest Executive entrance. It is time for watermelon.
It's the fact that he says, it's time for watermelon. Like he's
being so
salivating.
serious.
He's so serious. I think I might get it's time for watermelon merch. Like a little baby tea.
What odds will you give me that as our Queer Gals Watch tattoo, we just both get a little watermelon?
I'm not against that. I'm honestly not against that. I'll actually just do it. No odds. I'm in 100%. If this is co-signed by enough of our patrons,
yes,
we'll do it. My Man I Feel Like a Man moment was just Josh running through that door.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
And Leigh, what was the moment that made you proudest to be an American?
The assembled team telling Sam to run.
I know. Oh boy.
They're so
did so good.
It's so moving how supportive they are.
Friends.
Yeah.
Not just colleagues, friends.
Correct.
What an episode. Oh, I've had such a good time. I feel now very intrigued about the kind of breadcrumbs you left for this study sesh. What are we learning about?
We're going to learn all about being pregnant in Congress in honor of Andrea Wyatt, Congresswoman Andrea Wyatt.
Exceptional.
So Congress doesn't have an official maternity leave policy.
That's actually not surprising to me.
No. Members decide individually how much time to take after having a baby. Many only take a couple of weeks off. The women who've given birth while serving in Congress it's pretty evenly divided down ideological lines, both Democrats and Republicans. Members from Utah, Arkansas, South Dakota, Illinois, and 2 each from California, New York, and Washington State, my own home state, have given birth while serving. There are a couple of things that make being a parent to young children in Congress kind of complicated. The first is that the voting schedule can be unpredictable because, when something comes to a vote, you've kind of got to be there. And that could be at like 11 p.m. J. Scott Applewhite, writing for Politico, wrote, several lawmakers told me of close babysitting calls when an 11 p.m. vote was held at the last minute, or having to park children off the Senate floor while votes were called after daycare had closed.
Yeah, I can see that. I can also see, like, strategically that being used against people who have children, like calling things at certain hours to be as disruptive as possible.
I think that doesn't necessarily happen just because the people who have young kids are pretty evenly divided on both sides of the aisle. So it would kind of like hurt you as much as help you if you wanted to be strategic like that.
Yeah.
But the first ever person to give birth while serving in Congress was Representative Yvonne Braithwaite Burke, a Democrat from Los Angeles. She was the first member of Congress to announce she was pregnant in 1973.
Wow.
At the time, she called her historic pregnancy a dubious honor. One constituent told her that they sent her to Washington to work, not to have a baby.
Sure.
Yeah. Late in her pregnancy, she was introducing an amendment to require all the steel used to build the Alaskan oil pipeline be made in the U.S. And the Republicans didn't like the amendment, but they were all scared to be seen publicly debating a pregnant lady.
Interesting.
She said later, that was one time that everyone went bonkers. Who would have the nerve debating a pregnant woman on the floor? Finally, one did, Representative Sam Seaborn of Arizona, who argued that the amendment would jeopardize export trade. And he said on the House floor, I urge the members not to be swept along by the gentlewoman's eloquence or attractiveness.
Oh. No, I don't like that.
Naturally, she was also therefore the first Congresswoman to be granted maternity leave. She was 40 at the time and had a stepdaughter. And she said there were people who were critical, but there were people who were very supportive. And then there was curiosity. How could a woman at my age have a baby and at the same time be a member of Congress? It was unusual for a woman who was in business or an elective office to talk about having a family and being able to carry out their duties.
Really interesting.
So interesting, right? The fourth member of Congress to have a baby while serving was Blanche Lincoln, an Arkansas Democrat. She said, it was hysterical. It was kind of like having 400 plus big brothers. They were always asking how I was. I was very large. They were very kind.
Oh.
She was having twins, like Andrea, and this was in 1996. So I'm thinking maybe
interesting.
She was an inspiration for Andrea's storyline. Blanche Lincoln was she was planning on staying in office and just kind of carting her baby around with her. But then she found out it was twins, and the idea of campaigning in Arkansas heat while also having a high-risk pregnancy because it was twins, made her reconsider. And she ended up taking 2 years off. But then, so she was in the House, took 2 years off, and then she successfully ran for Senate in 1998.
Legend.
2 years later. So I cannot imagine running for Senate when you have 2-year-old twins.
Yeah. God, you got to have that's when you think about how you balance being like, I want to be there for my kids. I also want to be there for my campaign team. I want to be there for my constituents. Is it still the same word in America?
Yeah.
Constituents. Like that, it's such a skill. And I think also it really speaks to a person's like cult of personality.
Yes.
That their team are like, oh, you're the sort of person who, maybe I know that I'm not going to call you on this 1 hour of this one day because it's that afternoon that you've got with your kids. But even if I did, you'd go, that's absolutely fine. Give me 5 minutes and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And I think you've kind of raised modern kind of equivalents of this, not in Congress or the Senate, but in terms of like presidential staffing.
Yes. Yeah.
With some of the autobiographies that you've read.
Yes.
Of like, it was one of Obama's staffers.
Yes, we talked about like working mothers in politics when we talked about Jen Psaki's book. She was Obama's campaign press secretary, and then she went on to be Joe Biden's press secretary.
Yes.
But we have also Representative Linda Sanchez, a California Democrat, who gave birth to a son while serving in 2009. She said about the experience of having a baby while serving in Congress, "You have policymakers who are still stuck in these sort of idealized leave it to beaver families, where the wife stays home and the husband is the breadwinner. The reality for my constituents is most of them are two-parent working family households, and many of them are single-parent working households." What was slightly different for Linda Sanchez, and one of the things that was kind of a first or something that the public adapted to at this point in 2009, was that she wasn't married to her baby's father.
Interesting. Okay, so this also has kind of parallels with
It
the
does.
Andy and Toby storyline.
Yes, her partner and her were in a committed relationship. They were engaged. He was a divorced dad of 3 kids, and she was 39, and I think her doctor had kind of been like, if you want to have a kid, it's now. And so they just decided that it was more of a priority to get pregnant than plan a wedding.
Yeah, sure.
So she said, "I don't know how it'll be received," she said when she made the announcement. "I hope people will recognize that to be able to plan that in your life, I don't think that marriage and childbirth are black and white. There are certain instances in which you have to do things in reverse order," which I really respect.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So obviously this is happening in 2009. So this wasn't something that had happened yet in 2002
No.
when we're looking at Andy's story. But also it wasn't until 2011 that Congress installed a women's bathroom off the House floor.
Are you kidding?
There are
2011?
Yeah, there were obviously women's bathrooms elsewhere in the building. But if we want to talk, you can just like pop out.
Pop out.
There had been a men's restroom there, obviously, for as long as anyone could remember. And neither of those 2 bathrooms in 2011 had a baby changing table. So Sanchez asked for one to be installed in both.
Yeah, so that people could
to send a message on the importance of equal parenting responsibilities between men and women. She said at the time, "I'm sure the men around here think, why the hell would we need a changing table in the men's restroom? I'm sure they have ashtrays for cigars and spittoons for chewing tobacco, but there's no changing table."
That's so good.
However, in 2016, the Babies Act passed requiring changing tables in all federal buildings.
That's great.
In 2023, something that sounds alarmingly like dad talk for any watchers of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives formed in Congress. I'm sure, however, much less toxic than dad talk, in that in 2023, we had the Congressional Dads Caucus form.
It's giving grandfathers all.
20 Democratic members, they're all Democrats, basically urging in a letter to the House Administration Committee, quote, "Not every restroom has access to a diaper changing table, an experience shared by many of us and our staff. This deficiency hinders the ability of working parents from being easily able to manage parental responsibilities. Ensuring diaper changing tables are present and accessible in all restrooms is a common sense addition to our buildings that will help our growing number of members of Congress and staff who are parents to young children."
Nice.
And this, of course, is a reaction to the fact that not only is the average age of the members of Congress going down and becoming more female, but also the age at which people are having kids is going up.
Yeah.
So the proportion of Congress that has kids under 16 is rising as time goes on. Representative Jamie Herrera Butler, a Republican from Washington State who gave birth while serving in 2013, said, "This is one of the last places in America that is just rolling into the 21st century." She said that she walked into a meeting with fellow Republicans before she was publicly known to be pregnant. And most of the men who were in this meeting that she was walking into weren't even aware that she was pregnant, but they were all smoking cigars.
Great.
So she had to make a decision about whether she should miss the meeting in order to not be around secondhand smoke, or make a scene and ask everyone to put out their cigars, which is politically tough if you're trying to schmooze. So she ultimately decided to just say what she wanted to say and then leave. But I do think that's interesting that it's literally like a smoky back room.
Yeah.
In 2013.
Right.
She said they weren't trying to be offensive, but they probably didn't have a lot of pregnant ladies coming into their meetings. It just didn't happen. It is changing as the younger Gen Xers come in and have a little bit of a different perspective, including more fathers who are taking responsibility for raising their own children. That is out of the mouth of a Republican. Fathers, quote, raising their own children. Just wanted to reiterate that point.
It's sometimes it's good in the current climate to just remind ourselves that sometimes things like that are said by Republicans.
Yeah. Obviously, paid family leave is kind of a pet issue for Democrats, but there are some high-profile Republican moms, including Ivanka Trump and Herrera Butler, who we just heard from, who support paid family leave. She said, and again, the second sensible thing that I've heard out of a Republican mouth in a while, if we are the pro-family caucus, if we are womb to tomb, we have to be about the policies that allow families to make those decisions. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Womb to tomb is one of my favorite phrases. So, obviously, I don't know the origin of the phrase, but in the film West Side Story, the film version, not the recent remake, but there's a line that's like, womb to tomb, birth to earth. Which I think very drunkenly one kind of Christmas Eve when we were rewatching this as a family, me and my brother kind of turned to each other and were like, that's how I feel about you.
Oh, yes, I can see you and Will doing that very clearly, yes. Nancy Pelosi didn't run for office until the youngest of her kids was in junior high. But she did say, I am in awe of the young women who have their babies here. But it is so right because they are representing women across the country who are trying to balance work and family.
Nice.
Which I think makes total sense because I think even if you're a mother to teenagers, if you're not like in the heat of the like baby toddler phase, you just might be less aware of policy-wise what women who are in that situation currently now are going through.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that like mothers of young babies be included in political representation.
Yeah, because otherwise how are you going to get an understanding of like the demographic of the United States?
Yeah.
If you don't have representatives of like as much of the kind of voting age group.
Yeah.
As possible.
Nancy Pelosi also did one for the girls and established the first 2 dedicated lactation rooms in the Capitol.
Ooh.
There are now at least 7. And she offered her staffers, mothers and fathers, 12 weeks of paid leave upon the arrival of a new child.
Well, that's great.
Love that, Nancy. Now, if we take a step back from the US for a moment and just look at how political mothers and non-mothers, the issue of babies is approached.
The issue of babies.
The issue of babies is dealt with by the public when it comes to female politicians.
Okay, let's get into it.
The former Prime Minister of Australia, Julia Gillard, faced crazy attacks for not having children. The Sydney Morning Herald wrote, her media persona does not fit the expectations of some voters. A single woman, childless, whose life is dedicated to her career.
Okay.
While the leader of Australia, she was called, quote, deliberately barren and therefore unfit to govern because she could not, quote, understand the public because she had no children, by Australian Senator Bill Heffernan. And then by a rival in her own party, she was called a childless, atheist, ex-communist.
Wow.
Some people just really losing their shit that a woman
honestly,
had made an informed decision to be child-free.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we have the Andrea Leadsom, Theresa May fiasco. When they were both vying for leadership of the Tory party, which at the time would have made them prime minister when Mother of 3, Andrea Leadsom told a daily newspaper that being a mum meant that she had, quote, a very real stake in the country's future, which was interpreted as a dig at Theresa May because she doesn't have any children.
Yeah.
And it completely backfired.
Yeah.
And ultimately brought down Andrea Leadsom's leadership bid.
I remember that.
Yeah, crazy. MP Lucy Powell was appalled when she was listed in the Sun newspaper's top 10 laziest MPs. It was a list based off of like how often MPs were actually coming to Westminster to vote. And they had taken this data from while she was on maternity leave.
Sure.
The Sun described it as being compiled based off in terms of turning up to vote in the Commons. Lucy Powell said, on further investigation, I realised they had based their analysis on my voting record. Of course, I've had a few months off from Parliament this year because I've been on maternity leave and I've had a baby. While I was having a baby, I was still doing all of my constituency casework and lots of other aspects of the job. I just wasn't going down to London to actually vote because I had been paired. And in UK Parliament, pairing is where 2 MPs from opposing parties are matched up with an agreement of the whips to miss votes in the House of Commons. Lucy Powell added, a voting record is not a measure of how effective you are as an MP, but in my case, what made it worse is that I was an MP having a baby. The fact that they couldn't take this into account just shows what a poor piece of research it really was.
Yeah. I love that she was able to like fully clap back at that.
Yeah.
And like be like, no, let me tell you the real receipts.
Yeah. Ruth Davidson, Scottish Conservative leader, announced her pregnancy in 2018 and said she would be taking some maternity leave like thousands of working women do every year, but it will be business as usual until she goes on maternity leave. They made an arrangement where the party's deputy leader, Jackson Carlaw, stood in her place during her maternity leave. Prior to Ruth Davidson, in the UK, no major party leader had been in their post while pregnant, although Margaret Thatcher did become a grandmother during her time as Prime Minister. Ruth Davidson said, I think you've seen right across the world lots of women in politics who have made different choices. I don't think we should limit a woman's choices by whether she had children or not. Her ability to do her job should not be impacted. It does require organisation to do both. You can't have all the time in the world, but you can have a family and combine that with a career. And I don't think we should ever send a message to women that they can't have both.
Well put.
Yeah. Yvette Cooper, the Foreign Secretary, was actually the first UK cabinet minister to take maternity leave when she was Public Health Minister in 2001. Her husband, Ed Balls, also took paternity leave. But she revealed that in 2001, she felt cut off from Whitehall officials when she took maternity leave for the second time in 2004. She said on Women's Hour, the first time I took maternity leave as minister, the Department of Health was really supportive. The second time was the Communities Department, which was very unsupportive at the time.
Oh, interesting. That's like departmental attitudes can be quite different.
She said a lot of times it comes down to attitudes of civil servants, whereas the health department had been really helpful about making sure I had support, making sure I kept in touch with things that were happening so that it would be very easy to come back in. In the communities department, they almost tried to cut me off completely from everything. And so it became a bit of a fight and not wanting me to see any papers while I was away. You end up having to have a bit of a fight about it throughout. This is quite a stressful thing to do when you're on maternity leave.
Yeah.
Government departments are legally obliged to keep employees on maternity leave regularly up to date with information while they are absent from work. Interestingly, also in the UK, MPs as self-employed office holders aren't entitled to a specific maternity leave or paternity leave provision, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have Rachel Reeves, who was then the Shadow Work and Pension Secretary when she had her baby, is now the Chancellor of the Exchequer, had to reject suggestions that she wouldn't be able to give a top government job her, quote, full attention while pregnant, because Tory MP Andrew Rosendale said, quote, I don't want to say someone who is having a baby is not eligible to be a cabinet minister, but I certainly think perhaps the demands of that particular job will require someone to give it their full attention. I don't expect Rachel Reeves to be in the cabinet after the election because I expect the Conservatives to win. But clearly people need to be put in the positions they can handle.
Ooh.
Rachel Reeves said via Twitter that his words implied the, quote, Tory women problem.
Yeah. I always find it so interesting when men are like, or when there's like a political take, which is like, oh, I don't think women are stupid. I just think that like when they're pregnant, they're too emotional to make proper choices.
Yeah.
Or like it's impossible for you to do that and also, give your all to this. I think you can do that job. I'm just saying that you can't do it all the time because, something that goes on with your body, like an inherent part of, it's truly fascinating how people can say things not thinking that's deeply offensive and backward.
I know, it's crazy. But to come back to the US, a quarter of all congressional pregnancies have actually happened since 2018. There's been a bit of a baby boom in Congress, which I think is to do with, that sweep that happened in 2018 of younger women who were elected to Congress in the midterms in Trump's first term, which has led to a combined bipartisan effort between Representative Anna Paulina Luna, a Florida Republican, and Brittany Petterson, who is a Democrat, who have both had babies relatively recently while serving in Congress, to allow more flexibility for members with growing families to be able to vote remotely. Because they both had to deal with various complications during their pregnancies, which meant that they couldn't travel. And obviously traveling to and from Washington from your home state in the US can mean like a huge flight that isn't always possible in your like third trimester or immediately after you've given birth. So that has been a huge effort that has been taking place in the last couple of years. Of course, our friend Mike Johnson of Covenant Eyes fame has been trying to block it, but as of yet has been unsuccessful. And there's some boomer attitudes from various people being like, you have to come to work. We're not going to have a laptop class where, you simply need to show up for work. And it's like, or she's in hospital.
Or like medically her doctor has not cleared her to fly.
Yeah. Yeah. Interestingly, a 2012 study by Dr. Rosie Campbell and Professor Sarah Childs found that female MPs in the UK are twice as likely as people in the general population not to have children.
That's very interesting.
And they found that the average age of a female MP's eldest child when they first entered Parliament is 16, compared to 12 for men.
Interesting.
Which I think is a really interesting statistic. UK Parliament does allow proxy voting for members of Parliament who are new parents. So I think it would be interesting to see the US follow in those footsteps.
Which I think it could, but maybe not under this administration.
The Barbara Lee Family Foundation in the US wrote, voters recognize a double standard, but actively and consciously participate in it. They express anxiety about a woman's job in office taking a backseat to her role at home and wonder who is taking care of the children, especially if they are young. If a candidate doesn't have children, voters worry that she may not be able to truly understand the concerns of families. And that just doesn't exist for men in the same way.
No.
So you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't.
This is the problem when you're like dealing with a fundamentally like patriarchal system. It's like it was built for men by men.
Yeah.
So there is no way for it to work for women.
Yeah.
I think that you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't attitude is so frustrating because it's true, it's a fact, but I don't know how we start unpicking that as a problem.
No.
Like there's so much work to be done. And I think there must be so many women who have at some point in their career worked in Congress or the Senate who have so much testimony about all of these kinds of conversations. And yet we're still kind of at the baby steps, not to like pardon the pun, of this whole thing.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Well,
and to working moms everywhere.
Working mothers all. Great sesh, Leigh. Thank you.
Should we come back for Bartlet's second term?
Yeah, let's, because I want to know if everyone's in a good mood because they got laid.
Yeah, I love that we were convinced that this season was going to take the full election run up, and we're in episode 8 and the election has happened.
And done. And like, I think just like that's it. We just moved on now.
Yeah. So what the hell is the rest of the season going to hold? I don't know. You don't know.
Find out.
We're excited to find out. We're Queer Gals Watch wherever you get your socials. Email us queergalswatch@gmail.com and check us out on Patreon. We really, really appreciate all of you who support us on there. And I know that I've really appreciated all of the kind messages from people on Discord about my breakup. They were very relieved to know that you were with me, Fiona.
Thank you. Also, you know, if you're behind us on this watermelon tattoo, let us know.
Bye-bye.
Bye.